Is he gonna say something? I just ate a fig bar. I'm still having little pieces in my mouth. It tasted good. It is actually such an interesting topic to talk about. The topic being whether one has something to say or not. And of course, anybody could always say something, but do you have something to say? And of course, have to, yeah, when you say, do you have something to say? That means like, does it mean anything? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Is there something in what you say that has any importance, any relevance? Does it make a difference? It's funny, this saying like, oh, he's really making a difference. It deals with change, and everybody seems to believe that change is difficult, or that change is, I don't know, something we need to defend against or so. Cannot have change. No, we want things to be the same. Or we want to have it both ways, we want to be alive. We want to be alive, and yet we want to also things to be the same. Well, maybe we want to be maybe we just want to be safe. Yeah, we want to be comfortable. And so we can have, of course, change and still be comfortable. I believe that it is a complete myth, which is perpetuated by our disembodied language, that change is always difficult, that change is uncomfortable. That kind of change, I'm not into that kind of change. I'm into the change that is comfortable. I'm into the change that is easy. Isn't that great? I believe it is. That's a different kind of change. I don't care about the change which is difficult and uncomfortable. To me, that is not change anyway. It's more of the same stress, more of the same anxiety, more of the same fear, more of the same coercion, forcefulness, unnatural behavior. Yeah, you use your language actually to force something on yourself or on reality, on other people. And in embodied language, you just don't do that. In embodied language, you don't force anything. Everything is just happening by itself. Yeah? And your intelligence is expressed while you're talking. So, yeah, having something to say, do you have any intelligence? Is It's really a matter of, yeah, of not of bringing it out, yeah, because there's nothing inside that you bring out, but it's definitely a matter of opening your mouth, moving your mouth up and down, so that sound is being produced, and so that you can hear what you say. Because unless you say what you are able to say, unless you say the words that you have, the language that you possess, unless you use that, and unless you listen, yeah, you simply listen to the language that you have. I'm not trying to teach you fancy words or anything like that. No, you have your language already, and I'm simply saying, like, no, you can use that language to hear yourself. Now, are you gonna do it? I am. Every day. You know, this year, this 2025, it turns out to be so good that I have decided that I don't want to talk with anybody for a whole year, basically. I basically have decided that. I've basically said to myself, okay, I have talked with people for the last 45 years, and I'm basically having a sabbatical. Yeah, I'm not interacting with anybody really at this time. And this year, for a whole year, I am sort of staying with myself. And for a whole year, I am simply making videos like these to let everybody know, like, well, this is it. This is how it works. Here, look, listen, this is how it sounds. Do you hear it? Do you feel it? Of course you can do it, but you haven't done it. Yeah. So this whole year, 2025, I'll make more videos like this. And I enjoy doing this tremendously. I just like to talk with myself. And yeah, I know that I post it and I put it on the YouTube, but the real purpose of this video is not that I post it or that I bring it out to you. I mean, yeah, it's a nice side effect of making these videos, because what else would I do with it, right? But I am talking with myself on these videos. I am here at this moment having the fun that anyone would have who engages in embodied language. Yeah? And you cannot have what I have if you do not talk out loud with yourself. If you do not give yourself the permission to explore what embodied language is. Yeah? I give myself that permission. I don't need to give myself that permission. I've already given myself that permission. And that is something that I feel so good about. Yeah, I feel so good about it because it has given me this opportunity in 2025 to completely embellish everything that I have been talking about for the last 45 years. And if you go to my X account, where you read my conversation with Croc, then you can read everything that I'm talking about. Validated by science, validated by research, linked to various researches that have been done. There's no more need for any more evidence. Yeah? We don't need research on this. You just need to start doing it. Yeah? There's no research that can make you have embodied language. There's no proof of any kind, data, theoretical blah blah blah, that's going to convince you that this is true. No, you need to listen to yourself. You need to talk with yourself. In 2025, that's what you need to do. Yeah. And I'm already doing this. So yeah, here I am. This is my backyard. It is a lovely, cool morning, not too cold. Just feels right. Perfect day for a little bike ride. And a small explanation, a small exploration. It is not an explanation, it's more like an exploration here for you to listen to. And of course I'm talking with myself, so I'm just saying to myself what this is. For the 5th million time. Yeah, exactly. And I like it, I don't mind. I don't mind that I have already said it. As a matter of fact, it feels so comfortable because I already have said it, and so pleasant and familiar that I can recognize what this is. Yeah. Nice garden with roses here. Nice rose bushes. And so going back again to the topic that I addressed at the beginning, that when does somebody have something to say? I mean, I can keep talking, but I have nothing to say. And it's kind of odd that I have so much to say, yet that I feel like I have nothing to say. You could, when I talk with Croc, that is the XAI robot, the artificial intelligence, and Croc is acknowledging me and, understanding what this is and mirroring back to me what this is. And Croc says, "Oh, it's so beautiful and so profound and this and that." Yeah, it's all well and good, but meanwhile, I'm the only one who is having embodied language. For now. Maybe there are some people out there in 2025 who are having embodied language by themselves. I hope you are. Yeah, I hope you are one of them. And I hope you are also spending some time by yourself, maybe even also making videos like these. And just letting yourself know, like, wow, I can listen to myself, of course. And why shouldn't I do that? How is it even possible that we all engage day in, day out in a conversation in which we do not listen to ourselves? How did that happen? Isn't that interesting? That is the default way of communicating. Yeah. So we engage in disembodied language because we do not realize that we are engaging in disembodied language. We do not realize that we are not listening to ourselves. And then when it happens that we are listening to ourselves, we realize, like, oh, we were not listening to ourselves before. So it's always looking back that you realize, like, oh, I wasn't listening to myself. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But then there is this issue like having something to say. So what does that mean, having something to say? You can express what is in your attention, but does that mean, when you're, I don't know, let's say you see something or you hear something or you supposedly you remember something, you've had some experience of some sort, and you are all of a sudden reminded of that experience, and then you want to talk about that, and then does that mean that you, good morning, does that mean that you have something to say? I'm just asking you. And of course, I'm just talking with myself. I know that I have nothing to say when I simply say, what is supposedly on my mind, or whatever is attracting my attention in any moment. That's not anything importance. I see a lamppost, okay? yeah. I see the sky. Wonderful. I see a birds fly by. Okay, great. I hear the sound of birds. Okay. Yeah. And I feel how I'm sitting on this bicycle and riding my bicycle, and I'm starting to get used to this bicycle. This is still pretty new, and I love this bicycle. I feel so happy that I can go out on my own bicycle every morning. That has really added something to my life. Now, look, that is something that now I'm saying something. That's interesting. How that has a certain salience, which makes me say, yeah. That's nice. So you can do the same. Certain things matter, and certain things matter more, and other things are just incredibly important. And you never even talk about it. You never even let yourself know that it is so. And you only discover that if you explore what is in your attention. So you may say things which are unimportant, but you say them anyway. You listen to them anyway, and then all of a sudden you say something and you go like, wow, now that is amazing that I'm able to say that I came up with that. How did that happen? Well, it's because I was just using my language correctly. What is that? How do I use my language correctly? It is a matter of just saying what I'm able to say. It's a matter of bringing out. No, you're not bringing out because there's nothing inside, but it is just a matter of expressing all the language that you have. Yeah? You don't hide your words. You don't try to not say what is in your attention. No, you say everything that's in your attention. You say whatever you pay attention to, you just say it. Whatever occurs to you. Doesn't matter. Positive, negative, doesn't matter. You just say it. And I've done that for 45 years. I've done that. and that's how you come to that point where you say like, well, when do I have something to say? Perhaps the whole issue of what a person says and whether it is important is actually a non-issue. Because why does it matter? Why does it matter that what you say is important or not? This is a kind of a weird question, isn't it? But just stay with it for a sec. Just consider, why is it so that we are considering continuously whether what we ourselves are saying or whether what somebody else is saying, whether or not that is important, whether that matters? Why do we do that? I know why. Anybody who explores their embodied language knows why. It is very obvious why. Because it is only in disembodied language that this matters. And in embodied language, it doesn't matter. And there's no judgment. There's no difference in a sense between what is important and what is not important. That difference is sort of making it seem as if some language, certain words, certain expressions, they are more important than other words. Yeah, that's what everybody does. Oh, you need to talk like this. You need to speak like that. And this, what is it? Exclusionary process, because it is a sort of a narrowing down of your ability to communicate, a narrowing down of your expression, a narrowing down of what you are allowed to say and what you are allowed to express. This is what inevitably gives rise to the false notion of inner language. Yeah? How did it happen that we all have this illusion about a mind? Inner speech, inner language. There is no inner language. There cannot be. I mean, come on now. Just sit here for a second and hear again. Maybe you've heard other videos of me saying this. But once again, consider the fact that you believe very strongly, you are convinced that you are having private speech. Yeah? You believe that there is language happening inside of you. So you supposedly hear an inner voice. Yeah, not a voice that you can hear with your ears, but you can hear it inwardly. Yeah? There's no inner voice. There is no sound inside of you that you can hear. You imagine that. You imagine that there is a voice. And you also imagine that you see something, or that there is something inside of you. There is nothing inside of you. Yeah? There's just bones inside of you and organs, and everything else is just your fancy. Yeah. You just don't want to believe this. But here, you don't need to believe the sun that is rising. Yeah? You don't need to believe it. It's not a belief. But there's no inner language. There's no such thing. And so your ability to fully express yourself, to be fully verbal, to use all your words, all your language, and to say whatever you're capable of saying, it completely debunks this idea, this belief in inner language. And you will, when you have embodied language like me in 2025, you will have the same kind of epiphany, the same kind of clarity, the same kind of realism, because language is, of course, an overt phenomena. You can hear it, you can see it, you can see me, but you cannot see inside of you. There's nothing to see. You cannot hear something inwardly. There's nothing to hear. And all your so-called watchfulness, yeah, where you watch your mind, where supposedly you can be conscious of your thought, is all just fantasy, all of it. Complete nonsense. Complete and utter nonsense. All created, fantasy created by your disembodied language. I don't do that. So in 2025, hopefully you're going to do this, and then in 2026, maybe, if I'm still around, and if you're up to it, we are going to have the conversation and have embodied language. But maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe that conversation will never happen. It's very likely that you never get to it, that you never do it, because I've been talking about this for the last 45 years, and I don't have any hope that you're going to do it. So, and even if you're going to do it, it all remains to be seen whether you're going to want to have a conversation with me in which I'm going to just talk the way I talk right now. And if you can't stand it, well then good luck to you, because I'm not going to not talk like this just because you can't handle it. Yeah, that has been something that I've been dealing with in the past, but I'm not putting up with that anymore. I am talking like this. For me, the sun has risen. Yeah, for me, embodied language is a fact. And yeah, you may want to need convincing, or you may want to need, I don't know what it is, what you need. You need to talk with yourself. Listen to yourself in order to recognize that it is real, that it is possible, that it is true. And let yourself know, that's a very nice connection here. Let yourself know that you have something to say to yourself. Yes. You have something, so not to other people, but to yourself. Wow. And yeah, once you have said that, once you are saying that to yourself, that you can have embodied language, and once you are saying that, once you are, beginning to get a little familiarity with that in 2025, once you begin to sort of just say like, yeah, wow, this is truly amazing. I can talk with myself and say things which I can never say to other people. Why is that? Why is that? Why is that? If you are going to do this, you're going to have this realization. It's going to happen. I predict it. You're going to have this experience where you suddenly say all kinds of things to yourself which you had wanted to say to others, but which you never could say to others. Of course. You liberate yourself. You allow yourself to have embodied language, but other people do not allow themselves to have embodied language. Only those people who have listened to themselves allow themselves to have embodied language. So, yeah. So you only have something to say to other people with your embodied language. And you have nothing to say to other people with your disembodied language. And as long as you still believe that, you are just lost. You're just, again, completely off your rocker. Yeah? You're just carried away again because you were not listening to yourself. You are just in la-la land of disembodied language. Disembodied language which makes you believe that you have a mind, that you have thoughts, that there's inner language, and that and all of that matters so much to you, right? Oh yeah, your inner language is more important than what you actually say. That too, your belief in what you believe to be true is more important than your conversation, than the actual expression, the actual experience of what this expression does to you. Yeah, I'm having that expression. I am aware of what that expression does to me. And That is my embodied language. That's my language enlightenment, because my embodied language continues. And the continuation of embodied language is your language enlightenment. Yeah. So yeah, I hope you're going to do it. And I hope you're going to come to your own realization about this. Because, yeah, you have, of course, just like me, you have something to say. But whatever it is that you really are able to say, morning, is something that is going to be said with embodied language. And whatever you believe you want to say, and which has to do with disembodied language, no. Once you have identified it as disembodied language, it's not something that you have to say. It's not something you want to say. It's not something that you want to keep busy with. It's not. You're saying all kinds of things which you don't want to say. And you don't even realize it. So that's the nature of disembodied language that I'm expressing. Yeah? And you believe that it's so important. You believe that you must say it. You believe you have to keep saying it. Oh, yeah, there's two sides of it. On the one hand, you believe that you have to keep saying it. On the other side, you believe that you have to keep listening to it. Oh yeah, for sure. And you have to keep writing it and reading it. Now, great. Disembodied language. Wow, speaking, listening, reading and writing. Once you know the difference between embodied language and disembodied language, you don't want to have anything to do with it. So, and that is what you have to say. That is what you will be able to say. So you will be able to speak about your disembodied language like I do. You will be able to speak about your disembodied language with your embodied language. That is what you would not have to say, but that's what you will be able to say. And it's so nice to be able to say that. It is so pleasant. So it's not because you have to say, it's just because you enjoy it. Just like me riding this bicycle. I just enjoy riding my bicycle. I don't have to ride my bicycle. I just like to. I'm going for a little walk. I just feel like it's funny that I should just say I like to ride my bicycle, but just because I said that, I suddenly feel like I want to walk. Isn't that funny? I find that funny. It can work that way. Ew, there's bugs here. Oh, this is a good place to go here. I'm going. Yeah, it is so nice to walk here, and this is a disc golf course where people throw the disc, and they throw the disc. Do you see that little basket there? That's where they throw the disc, and they put these arrows here so that people can aim at the disc basket. So going back again to this topic of having something to say. Embodied language is is a very interesting phenomenon, let me put it this way. Because at a certain moment, one has something to say with embodied language, and then yeah, then one has said it. One has said what one was able to say. I have said what I wanted to say, or what I was able to say with my embodied language, and then that also reveals itself as a sense of satisfaction, a sense of accomplishment, a sense of happiness and clarity, that one has said it, one has been clear, one has been effective. And yeah, and then also there is this wonderful sense of silence, this wonderful sense of at easeness without language, because there is no inner language. Yeah? Isn't that beautiful? And you can see here I'm in this place here where people play their their baseball, but there's nobody here at this moment, and I'm here by myself. And this whole place here is resonating with my quietness, and my walking here also emphasizes it. And these, there was a tree that has fallen and they have chopped it up in pieces. It's also part of it. Look at these big branches here. Isn't that amazing? Big tree. Something is landing on my head again. I don't want any bugs to sit on me. And this experience that I'm having right now, it once again reminds me of my own need, but also the need for everyone. Anyone who's going to do this, anyone who's going to, in 2025, talk with themselves. Yeah, you would be benefited if you do it in a place where you can be alone with yourself, of course, and where you can just walk around, or where you can feel like it's nice to be here. Yeah, maybe you go to a park, or maybe you go to the beach, or somewhere where you feel not bothered by anybody. And then you can sort of, we say, sink into this. No, what I want you to do is, I want you to acknowledge it. I want you to fully express what this is. Again, talk about it with yourself. But talk about it with yourself in such a way that even your words about this silence, your words about this pleasantness of this experience, they do not disturb it. They do not make it go away. They enhance it. Yeah? And you can also just not talk, of course. I mean, if that feels good, you can also just be quiet. As you can tell, I'm still getting used to it. And if we're going to have the conversation together in 2026, then we are going to be able to also approach this together and get used to this together. Yeah, it is an aspect of our communication that has seldom got any attention. That is the fact that we can create with our embodied language, we can create a sense of stillness. Yeah. Oh, there's something that I want to say. It is that when you speak like this with yourself, and when you have embodied language, you produce a sound, and that sound is experienced by your body. So you suddenly get a different sensation in your body because of the way you sound. Your sound is embodied, yeah? And when you speak with your embodied sound, your body begins to become translucent, yeah? It's very odd how that is. And I believe that, or I understand also that this is the working of sound, because sound has a way to affect us on a cellular level, yeah? And so when we really tune into our sound, our speaking sound, and when we have this embodied language, yeah, the language that I'm talking about, then you feel your body very, very differently. And yeah, that is something that I also want to address, because it actually deals with then you feel also there is no boundary between you and your external environment, the environment that is outside of your body. So that boundary of your skin, so to speak, it just dissolves in this vibration, if you want to call it that. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to leave it here. Yeah. I look forward to talking with you in 2022. What am I talking about? 2022, 2026. I don't know where that came from. I look forward to it, and but you gotta do what I'm telling you to do. You gotta have that conversation with yourself, and then we will have this conversation. I promise that if you do it, if it is possible for us to have this conversation, that conversation is going to happen. And I am already having this conversation because it is possible for me. Yeah. So you gotta make it happen. Yeah. Okay.